Hey there, Leo. Welcome to your reading for the next 6 months. This is from now until the end of the year. So we're just going to jump right in here, Leo, and we are going to see what we have going on for you at this time. And that's going to be that. Leo, right off the bat, in your first row, you have this milk and honey card. And that milk and honey card, it's like a good card, but it can also represent kind of like thinking that something is better than it actually is, or, kind of indulging a little bit too much. I would be careful of that, although I'm not too worried because, I don't want to speak too soon, but you don't have the devil in your reading. And so, I get more of a feeling of a change being made. And I'm cheating, but I'm cheating, because I know your astrology, but also just based off the readings that I've done for you in the recent past, I would say that there's some sort of change coming in for you. For most of you, I feel like it's like how you work. I'm pretty sure I've said this to you like a million times before, but I just always get the same repeating thing. Again, it doesn't really surprise me that I get repeating messages because, it's like, do we really change all that much, or do we change all that quickly? No. I don't know about you, but it takes me, I have to listen to something like 100 times before I actually do it, right? So, I kind of feel like the same energy here. But you have this milk and honey card. I feel like things have been working out a certain way in work, in business. Let's put it that way. Let's say, like my channel, right? Not to talk too much about myself, but it's like, it's like things, for the most part, things have always worked out the same way. You know what I mean? It's like I put up videos, I get a certain amount of views, and, that's the business, right? But, I feel like a certain change there. It's like, if I were to put myself in your shoes, what I'm saying is, it's like, it's almost as if I were putting up videos and not getting views. Or it's almost as if I was putting up videos and a bunch of people who hate tarot are watching my videos, It's like, I get that type of change. I don't have a better, I don't have a better example for you other than that. That's what's popping into my head here, Leo, where it's almost like I'm doing something, but the result is different, right? And we see this here with the Four of Cups, You have the Four of Cups, the Nine of Wands, and the King of Cups. Number one, I feel the Four of Cups can sometimes talk of disappointment. It's a card of like contemplation and apathy. He's kind of like manifesting these cups in front of him, but he's not accepting those cups into his life, Leo. He's not, he's not grabbing onto those cups and bringing them in. You also have the Nine of Wands, which I definitely feel is saying, like, don't give up, obviously. I feel like, if your work is changing, if you have a business, a job, a career, and there's some sort of change going on, really, this reading is pretty simple. You have this higher view card. It's all about gaining perspective. You have this moon card. It says perception on it. So it's like your perception about what you do is going to be changing. And we see this as well with the King of Cups, which we'll talk about in a minute. So I feel like there's nothing to worry about. And I also feel like there's probably even more success coming in for you because of the changes that you are making. I also get something about love here. At the end, you have the 7th house card and it says relationships on it. And I do feel that for some of you, I get a lot of questions about relationships with this Nine of Wands, a lot. It's like, are relationships worth it? Are they possible? All this stuff rushing around in my head. You have the King of Cups, and, the one thing that stands out to me about the King of Cups is he makes his reality his own. There's a mind blower for you, right? It's like he makes his reality what he expects it to be. And I think this is a hard concept to grasp for people. I know it was super hard for me to understand, and I still don't understand it, right? But it's like he realizes that, in life, that certain thing, that he can believe that, love is horrible and everybody's mean and a cheater and terrible, or he can believe in true love. He can believe that he can be ultimately successful in his business or career or job, or he can believe that he's meant to be, a debt slave for the rest of his life. So it's like he understands that. He understands that he has a choice on like his reality, or he has a choice in the way that his reality is created. You have this higher view card next, and again, I feel this is a perspective that you have been gaining for a couple of months now. I literally feel like saying a couple of months. Something has changed recently, maybe even over the past since the beginning of the retrograde on the 30th of April, right? It's like maybe even since that, you've had a realization or some sort of epiphany where you've said to yourself, I want a change. And, I also feel like you're recognizing changes where, like I said, with that, the milk and honey card and that 4 cups, it's like, the result is very different. That's the best way I can give you, the message that's popping into my head. It's like people always ask me, what are you looking at when I go like this? And it's like, I just zone out. That's how I get my messages. And I feel like a very different result, but I feel like this is kind of forcing you to gain a new perspective. You have the Chariot, the Judgment card, and the Fool. The Chariot is like definitely a move. Wouldn't really surprise me. I feel like everybody's moving. I mean, Uranus and Taurus is very moving energy, right? I feel like Uranus and Taurus causes a lot of people to like want to move, to want more freedom, to like all those things. So, it wouldn't surprise me if anyone's moving, plain and simple. But I do feel like some of you can be moving and traveling, but I also feel this is talking about willpower. And I feel like it's saying it is going to require willpower for you to be much more successful at this time. But I don't think it's as hard as you think. I think it's very mental, right? It's like years ago, I was like, believe it or not, I was completely miserable. And, I allowed my brain to control my life, basically. And it wasn't until I took control of my thoughts and literally just started thinking more positively. I know it sounds ridiculously easy, but it is that easy. It wasn't until I started taking control of my thoughts little by little that my life started to improve. And I really feel that on this Chariot card. With the Judgment card, I feel like you are being led to something new. So again, I wouldn't really worry if you're seeing, like I gave you the example, I wouldn't be worried if you're seeing different results in work or business or career. I wouldn't be worried about that. I feel you're being called into a new life. Again, these people, they're rising out of coffins. The coffin itself represents their old life. It represents their past life. Outside of the coffin represents their new life. It's like they're being called into something new. They're being called to do something different here, Leo. And you have the Fool. You are more than prepared. I always say he has this tiny little sack on his back here, and it represents the fact that he has everything he needs right here, right between his 2 ears. The Fool also can represent the beginning of a new cycle. In the major arcana, we go from the Fool to the World, and then we start all over again as the Fool. So it's kind of like you're entering into a new cycle with this Fool energy. And again, we're going to figure out what that is. Next, you have this Moon card. It says perception. Like I was saying, I feel like how you perceive things is probably the most important thing that you could focus on at this time. So again, I know it's like a difficult thing to grasp, right? And it took me a long time to figure out how to do it. I'm like, trust me, I used to be like, my life sucks. How can I be positive? I used to be like, my life sucks. Or this situation is, very like a real world situation. And it's like, how can I think positively about it? Or how can I turn it around, right? I think it's a very hard thing to do. I get it. But, I would be trying to take your situations and I would try to change your perception with the Moon card, because I feel like it'll make all the difference in the world. You have the Hierophant, the Hermit, and the Four of Pentacles here. The Hierophant is like a lot of learning. Part of me feels with the Hierophant that you're kind of like going in between stages. This card, he has 3 levels to his crown on his head. So as I was saying, I feel that you're kind of like, he has these 3 levels to his crown on his helmet there, on his crown, and they represent initiation, initiation, apprenticeship, and mastery. Usually when we're in that like middle stage, which is kind of like where I feel like you are, Leo, that apprenticeship stage, and then we're going to the mastery stage, it like looks very similar. So we feel like our life isn't changing. It's like, it's like the difference between an apprentice and a master. It's like, is it really all that much? Maybe not. And we even see this here with the Hermit card, because it's like the Hermit even says, both cards, the Hermit and the Hierophant, can represent a rite of passage. And so it's like both cards say you've been through something, you've learned a lot, and now it's time to kind of shine something out into the world. It's like, I feel this energy of, more teaching, which I feel like I always say to you, you always get the Hermit. And I'm always saying that it's like you're teaching people. Are you really teaching people? Like physically, I would say no. Like, does it look like you standing up at a whiteboard teaching people? Probably not. It's probably more through kind of being an inspiration, showing people what's possible in life, things like that. You do have the Four of Pentacles. So it's like something you've been holding on to maybe needs to be let go of. This could be your old life or the old way of doing things. But as soon as you do this, I feel like you are going to be very successful here, Leo. So I definitely love to see that. Next, you have this 7th house card, and this card says relationship on it. I do feel like there could be love coming in for you. It's kind of weird because, I feel it's weird that I feel like this half of the year intuitively is better for love than the first half. So if you're looking for love, I feel like this is a better half. But at the same time, it feels like love is in the background for pretty much every single person I've read for. The reason I think, but what I would say is that kind of makes sense. And the reason it kind of makes sense is because usually, like, when do we find the love of our life? When we're not looking for it, right? So this could be a good thing. It's like when I usually hear from people, they're like, oh, I finally let go and I stopped looking for love and it found me, And I kind of get that feeling for you here, Leo. You show up here with the Strength card. You have the High Priestess and the Two of Swords. Could be a Pisces coming in for you. You have basically everything. It could be a water sign. Water stands out to me. Virgo, it could be an earth sign. You have a lot of earth here as well, so it could be any sign that's coming in for you, but I feel like the Strength card is you. The High Priestess, I feel like it's saying there could be a very kind of like intuitive connection coming in for you. I also feel that this could be something that you think doesn't exist as well, this type of connection. Those are the words that are popping into my head. So, maybe you've become a little bit jaded as far as love is concerned. I think everybody has. It's 2022, right? So maybe you've kind of like fallen out of love with the idea of love. And I kind of feel there could be a person coming towards you who totally changes your perspective as far as love is concerned. And even here, you have the Two of Swords, something you didn't think exists, right? She's sitting where she has always been, and I always say there's a new island behind her. The Two of Swords is a card of compromise, coming to an agreement, but to me, that's such a sellout. It's such a weak way of describing the Two of Swords. There's so much more going on this card than just like coming to an agreement or being at a stalemate or something like that. To me, the Two of Swords is so much more than that. That's why I never use that meaning for the Two of Swords. And really, she's sitting where she's always been. She's trying to protect herself from these rocks that are in the water. But kind of like on the Eight of Swords, if she just put her swords down, if she took her blindfold off, she would see those rocks and she would see the new opportunity behind her. So I feel like this is like the opportunity to be surprised by something, probably love for some of you. But let's dig into this and let's really see what's going on here, Leo. With the Four of Cups, you have the Knight of Cups. Definitely could be a Knight in Shining Armor coming in for you if you are looking for love. Four of Cups would kind of tell me that you're not maybe paying attention to it. So, and you have the Nine of Wands, which is putting up boundaries. I'm not saying don't have boundaries, but again, if you want love, I would open up to it here, obviously. We have to be open to allow love into our life, but that's what I'd say with that Knight of Cups. Definitely could be love coming in for you. Here you go. With the Nine of Wands, you have the Wheel of Fortune, a change in your fortunes. I feel like fortunes are kind of like turning in your favor. This to me is like the second most powerful combination in the tarot, the Wheel of Fortune and the Judgment card. The Wheel of Fortune is your personal vision for your life. And the Judgment card is like your inner calling, very similar type of energy between the two. And so I feel there's like a very strong, it's like you're kind of maybe discovering your purpose, in a lot of ways. I always tell people always ask me, what is my purpose? And I'm always like, well, our purpose really is to be here to create our own reality, whatever that means for you. So I don't think we're like sent here to be a doctor or a lawyer or, whatever. If that is part of the reality you want to create, then go for it, right? And that's what I feel here. With the King of Cups, you have the Ten of Wands. Very emotional time. I feel like emotions have been kind of like a burden. Your feelings, how you feel about things, maybe a little bit harder to hold back. I don't know, I feel good about this, because I feel like you're expressing your emotions, some of you quite literally. Maybe you're expressing them to people. Maybe you're discovering like an outlet to express your emotions. I don't think it's a bad thing that you're letting them out, though, is what I would say here. With the Chariot, you have the Queen of Cups, divine counterparts. Do you have the King of Cups? I thought, oh yeah, King and Queen of Cups with the Chariot. So definitely could be a divine counterpart coming in for you in love. And it could be a water sign. It could be someone who has a lot of water in their chart as well. I feel like this person could live at a distance, is what I'd say with the Chariot. But it feels more like somebody's moving here. I don't mean somebody's moving because of the relationship. Possibly, if you're already in something long distance, then that's definitely a possibility. But I feel like either if you're moving, I feel like you could be discovering love where you move to. If they could also be moving to where you live, so it could be like a person who's recently moved to your location, and that could be how you're discovering love. With the Judgment card, you have the World. Look at this. Damn. We were literally talking about completing a cycle, and I was talking about the Fool to the World, and World, Fool. Like I said, it looks to me like you completed one cycle, you're about to start another one here, and that's why these changes are occurring. I feel like, again, I kind of as a collective, I feel like we're moving into this new world, right? There are a lot of teachers and spiritual people who talk about this new world. I don't think we're necessarily going to notice the transition. I feel like we're already in it, honestly. I feel like we've already entered into the new world. We just need to wake our asses up and realize it, right? With the Fool, you have the Queen of Swords. Yeah, seeing things clearly. A lot of answers coming in for you, Leo. I feel like there's a lot of clarity and a lot of answers coming in for you as far as like what you should be doing with your life and the direction that you should be going in with this Queen of Swords. So that's what I feel there. With the Hierophant, you have the Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, literally I was talking about being in that middle zone of apprenticeship. This is the card of apprenticeship. Like, are you kidding me? I feel like you're going from apprenticeship to mastery. It's like you're graduating to the next level in any area of your life. I feel like you need to realize that, it's like, again, sometimes I think we go through a bunch of bad relationships and we're like, I'm never going to have a relationship again. But this is saying that those relationships have been your learning ground, have been your opportunity to learn what you want, what you don't want. Now you're entering into that mastery stage, completely different area of life, completely different stage, right? Same thing with work or business. It's like if you're going from one thing to another, it's like the next thing you start is going to be very successful. I like to remind people, it's like, let's pretend that I were to quit this channel. Not going to do it. Don't worry, right? I'm just saying, let's pretend that I were to quit this channel and start a new channel. I already have a new channel. There's no need for me to quit this one, but let's pretend I were to do that. It's like, I would probably be successful on that channel much faster because it's like, I have all this 7 years of knowledge that I've learned from this channel, right? Well, same thing for you. It's like, if you're starting something new or taking something to the next level, it's like, you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from knowledge. You already know. With the Hermit, you have the Page of Cups. Definitely an admirer here. There's someone around you. For some of you, I feel like you have your eye on this person. For others, I feel like they have their eye on you. For others of you, I feel like you're both spying on each other from the bushes, right? Both probably, peeking at each other, but not talking type of situation. So open up here, Leo. Four of Pentacles, you have the Three of Pentacles. I love the Three of Pentacles for love because to me it's a card of like two people who actually want to work on a team, two people who actually want to create something of value. So I feel like there could be a very solid relationship coming in for you here. For others, I feel like this is what you're building. The Three of Pentacles is a card of quality. Eight of Pentacles is you building something in this row. So I feel like a lot of you are working on either careers or businesses where you're building something of quality, something that matters. I really like that for you, Leo. With the Strength card here, you have the Tower. There you go. To me, the most powerful combination in the tarot is the Tower and the Judgment card. And you have both in this reading. To me, this is like a major wake-up call, a major revelation. When both show up in a reading, it's not just like a tiny little thing. It's like a big change. And so I feel like there's a big change coming in for you. For some of you, it could be as simple as a move. For others, I feel that there are tower moments, but again, I feel like these tower moments are the disappointments like we discussed in the beginning of the reading. It's like you do things one way, but it's not like working like it used to. Those are the words that are popping into my head. Take it how it resonates, whatever, right? But I feel like things are not going like they used to go, and so it's like you're having to learn this new world. And again, that could be a tower moment, right? That could be shocking. That could be you're starting from a new foundation, things like that. With the High Priestess, you have the King of Swords. I feel like you need to trust your intuition. I feel like you're learning a lot as well. I also feel like you're willing to be comfortable not knowing, It's like the High Priestess is a mystery. It's like a little bit of a mystery. You don't know what's behind her. You kind of have to discover, what's behind her. And I feel like you're just kind of like open to discovery here, Leo. With the Two of Swords, you have the Chariot. Again, are you kidding me? So definitely a victory coming in for you based off of some sort of change. I'm pretty sure you're like the second sign that has had the Chariot twice in their reading. Wouldn't surprise me if some of you are moving, like I said, but really, this is a really good reading for you, Leo. I feel like you're undergoing a powerful transformation and definitely love coming in for you here. So thank you for being here, Leo. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for the full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you and definitely enjoy your week.